Okay, this is video number 6. We're going to talk a little bit about troubleshooting. You'll notice that if you click on delete, let's just try to delete this second row. If we hit delete, it says database query failed. And we're saying, well, we're passing in the get. We got all the IDs. What could be going on? Well, the first thing we want to do is go back to our code, and let's just start from scratch. And in our database file, you'll notice that a lot of the user IDs have not been changed. So go ahead and wherever it says ID, make sure user ID, make sure you change those out to ID. That's the first thing. Okay. And once you do that, save it, upload it, and run it again. Okay. And see if that fixed it. Nope, still didn't fix it. So let's look at the next thing that could possibly be wrong. Are we actually getting this ID in? Does it look good? So let's just echo out ID and see if it's coming in. Okay, so we come back over and we run it, and we get a little 1 right here, and that's coming from here, the get. It looks great. So we can just instead of echo, you can also do a var dump. Okay, and that's kind of cool because it'll actually take everything in there. It'll tell you what the ID is, and it'll tell you what the actual number is. So it tells you it's a string, and it says it's 1. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and we know that's working, so we don't need to have that there anymore. Okay, so we keep going down, and we say, wait a second, this could be where the query is failing. Okay, and this is what we're trying to do here is we're trying to use this ID to go out and get the information from tax, so we can set the username here to the username and say, are you sure you wanted to delete so-and-so's taxes? Okay, that's the only reason why we have that here. So what we can do is go back out to Sublime, and go back out to Sublime, click on the database object class, and we could say, this is the find by ID that we're calling. Is this one right? We could say select all from table name, and it's from here, it gets passed up into here to run. Okay, so this calls here. Well, this is where you're going to see the error. Database query failed. Let's just see if that's really where our problem is. So I'm going to hit save. I added that extra A on database. I hit save, and I'm going to run it again. Notice that we get the extra A. Okay, so we go back to Sublime, and we say, you know what? This is where our error is happening. So let's just say what is calling this function, because find by SQL is not called here. Instead, it's find by ID. But you'll notice that find by ID, which is here at the very end, sends that array up to find by SQL. So something must be wrong here. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. Select all from the tax table where ID is equal. Now wait a second. There's a space here, but there's not a space after the table. So if we looked at the SQL here, it would say select all from tax, and tax and where are too close together. So if I add a space here and hit save, now run it, it's going to work. Are you sure you want to delete Brian's taxes? Yes, please delete. But my taxes aren't deleted. Are you sure you want to delete Margie's taxes? Yes, but it's not working. Okay, why is it not working? Okay, so let's go back to our database object, our delete object. First off, let's save that, and let's say, why is this still not working? Okay, so we look, all of our IDs are right, everything's being sent up right. Okay, everything's going to the delete all right. Why is this not working? Well, let's go ahead and look at our database object class. Let's go down to the delete function. So it's at the very bottom. Here's the delete function. So it says delete from table name where ID is equal to, and everything looks great. So instead of running the query, let's go ahead and return the SQL. Okay, so I made this whole big variable here with the SQL statement in it. Notice the dot equal sign. Dot means concatenate. So take this and then put this on the end of it, and then put this on the end of that. Okay, it's just kind of a cool way to delimit it so it looks good. So I'm going to hit just don't run this. I'm going to comment out the actual run command, and I'm going to say, hey, just return me back this SQL. But this is a function, and it's returning something So we need to actually, in delete, where we call that function, we need to grab it and put the return into a result. Okay, so now we can echo out that result and see what's going on. Hopefully it'll echo out the SQL statement. So we can come over here to sample application. We can hit delete. Yes, we want to delete. But wait a second. It just, if I hit yes, delete, it just goes right back here. Well, let's go back and look at our Sublime and say, after I get done with all of this stuff, it comes out here and it relocates it. So you know what? Let's just turn off that header. What that does is it says, hey, when you're all done, go back to the index page. Okay. So instead of going back to the index page, we want to see this result, right? So we go here, we hit enter, go back to delete, and say, yeah, let's just delete Brian's taxes. Let's make sure it got uploaded right. Let's see. Oh, we didn't save. Okay. So now we saved. Go back, hit enter, hit delete. Yes, delete. Now we could see what our SQL statement is. Okay. And it says delete all from taxware. That's the problem right there. We missed a space. So if you can get your SQL statement to output, and what you could even do is take that SQL statement, okay, and you could say, you know what, something's screwy here. I can't tell what's screwy. I'm going to go out to my table, click on my table, and I'm going to run it in SQL. You can just click right there and run that right there, and hit go, and yeah, say, you know what, I do. Oh man, what's going on here? Something's going on. It tells me, oh, you've got a problem by ID and where. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Let me just add that space and everything turns out nice. So then I can go back to my Sublime application, go into my database object and say, you know what? I did the same thing here. I got my where clause messed up. I need to hit save. And at that point, you know it's going to work. So you can just come and get rid of the code that you put in there earlier. And now we know it's just going to output or go right to the query. I can close the database object and I want it to go back and redirect. I don't need my result anymore, and I can get rid of this result and just call it the tax function, make it nice and clean. And if I go into my sample application, go back home, and I can say, you know what, let's just delete this one. Okay, now that one's gone. Let's delete this one. That one's gone. Let's delete this one. So that is just a small way on how to do some troubleshooting to see what is why you're getting some errors. So again, this is video number 6, a little bit of troubleshooting, how to output the SQL statement, see what's going on with the SQL statement, how to isolate problems.